Well, good morning on a Thursday. Let's pick back up with 2 Corinthians chapter 10. And I've thought a lot about that whole concept of taking every thought captive. But I needed to back up a little bit and look at how we get to that point. And it's so interesting what Paul says. Now remember in 8 and 9 he's talking about sacrificing and giving financially to the poor in Jerusalem. But then all of a sudden he goes into something that seems so strange, talking about being bold and timid. And we talked a little bit about how it's easy to be bold when you're not in front of somebody on social media. But then he steps into this whole concept of a war. And I don't think I want to think about war, but the reality is, I think this struggle that we're in between good and evil is going on all the time. He says, now you live in the world, but you don't wage war like the world does. We have this hidden source of weaponry that can demolish strongholds and destroy pretensions and arguments. Wow. We don't like to think about being in a war and what all that involves. Janie and I have been watching some documentary type stuff on the Revolutionary War and how hard it was for our founding fathers to establish a country. And, you know, we don't think about that Revolutionary War in the seriousness that it was. I mean, people were killed and houses destroyed and people captured and hung and shot. Think, oh, that's horrible. But that's the reality of a struggle, a fight. And so we're in this world in which we live. And the interesting thing is I thought about the way you think. It says, take your thoughts captive. Capture the enemy that's in your mind. Now, it's easy to think when we're opening the Bible or listening to a devotion, oh yeah, I can do that. But if we have the power to destroy arguments and, I probably should be giving more of myself, or I should be helping in this area or that. Nah, I don't want to do that. That's not a spiritual thing, but maybe it is. Maybe everything that comes into our contact is tied up in our thought process that can be portrayed as good versus evil. I think what we're looking for is the truth. I told you the other day, I spent 4 or 5 hours working on a video for devotion because I wanted to be fancy and cool, and I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. Kept doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, the definition of insanity. Well, this morning, I finally saw something. I was trying to upload video to a cloud storage thing I hunt, and I had been over my limit for the video. I could put unlimited pictures, but my video limit was reached a while back. So of course it wouldn't work. And then I couldn't download it into iMovie, and just frustrating. Once I learned the truth that I needed to either purchase more storage or find another place to store it, which I had, the problem becomes clear. Or its solution becomes clear. Same thing's true in our spiritual lives. Once you know the truth, you are free. The problem is, we think truth, for me anyway, is something that is applied to a biblical reference. I think it's everything we look at. Maybe it applies to this whole nonsense with the coronavirus. What is the truth in the whole thing? I'm not convinced you're going to get it from the mainstream media or the politicians or your neighbors. You know, I think God can show you if you seriously want to know what is our responsibility in all of this. We can't go out. Saw a lady was arrested for putting her little girl in a swing yesterday in Idaho. What? what's the truth of what we should be doing in our lives right now? We have the power to demolish strongholds, arguments, pretenses, and live our lives in a way that makes a tremendous difference. You're making a tremendous difference, whether you know it or not, in the lives of students at our school. Keep it up and keep searching for the truth. And maybe tomorrow I'll get my video of my gardening and some kind of insight into the way I see it from chapter 9. All right. Have a great Thursday. Maybe I'll get everything together by tomorrow. See you.